MTG Scoundrels. It's in the cardboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, scoundrels of all ages, welcome back to another episode of Modern Mondays. Today on the docket, we have ourselves Eldrazi Aggro versus Arclight Dredge. Arclight Dredge being one of the faster decks in the format, but most prone to hate, and Eldrazi Aggro is trying to find its spot here in the meta, starting off with an island and passing. Eldrazi Aggro really had a hard time finding its place in the last meta before the bans and unbans. And being that Eldrazi Aggro generally plays Chalice of the Void in the main deck, it could be in a better spot now with Living End being where it's at and all the other Cascade lists. Now, Dredge here going to 17. Finding a Steam Vents, tapping 1, and casting this new guy called Exhibition Tidecaller. This is one that has been added to the mill decks, and Dredge here can really take advantage of it as well to fill the graveyard, especially this version of Dredge. And now we're going to see Chalice of the Void on 1. Though with this Tidecaller out, that may not matter. We'll see what the follow-up play is here. Taking 2 off a Stomping Ground, going to 15. Here's an Artist Talent. A card that has been an all-star all over Standard is now going to be a key piece for this Arclight Dredge deck. And here is turn 3 Thought-Knot Seer. And the obvious call here now is exiling that Stinkweed Imp. That Stinkweed Imp specifically says Dredge 5. And getting that in the graveyard with the cards that are out is not difficult. So we have a Chalice of the Void on 1. Here's an Arid Mesa getting cracked. So the Tidecaller in hand for the Dredge player won't be able to be cast. Finding a Surveil land. So Surveil incoming here, which Surveil lands have really helped this Dredge deck out since they're printing. Being able to Surveil a Dredger into the bin is pretty great. Well, here's a Faithless Looting. Going to the bin thanks to not being able to cast it. Here's a Cathartic Reunion. So we have triggers. Discarding 2 cards as part of the cost. Discarding the Creeping Chill off the Artist Talent trigger. And drawing a card. Now milling 3. And there is a Lava Dart in the bin. And drawing 2 cards off the Cathartic Reunion. Now drawing those 2 cards to resolve the spell. There is a Dart in the bin. But passing from here. Here's a Secluded Courtyard on Eldrazi. And here's an Eldrazi Classic and Reality Smasher. Attacking in for 9. That'll bring us to 20-5. So let's see what the Dredge deck can do. They can generally win out of nowhere. But that would take a serious set of events to occur here. Fourth land. 1 mana, Otherworldly Gaze. So, hitting a Creeping Chill off of the Tidecaller. Let's bring us to 17 to 8. Surveilling all of those to the bin, I presume. But ultimately didn't resolve it. There is a Stinkweed Imp that is discarded to the Artist Talent that then is going to get dredged for the draw. Sacrificing a mountain. Casting Lava Dart. That is going to get countered. That'll trigger the Artist Talent and the Tidecaller. Tidecallers first. Then dredging the Stinkweed Imp. Hitting another Creeping Chill. That'll bring us to 14 to 11. Oh, excuse me. The Otherworldly Gaze was countered by the Chalice of the Void. So now the Dredge player has to think, are they flashing back Faithless Looting or are they conflagrating from the bin here? Deciding the conflagrate would be my assumption. There's conflagrate, discarding 2 cards. That'll bring us to 12 to 11, targeting the face. Milling over 3 cards. Artist Talent will dredge. So that's 2 more Lava Darts. So that's some more looks at it. Sacking a mountain. Here's another Lava Dart. It gets countered, but triggers will occur. There's 1 Arclight Phoenix. That's pretty good. Here's a Dredge. And there's still another Lava Dart. And we've only seen 1 Arclight Phoenix. Is a Dredge player going to go to 0 cards in library? Here's Lava Dart. Gets countered, triggers Tidecaller. There's a Creeping Chill. And an Arclight Phoenix. That's 9 to 14. Need 1 more Phoenix to hit the bin. Artist Talent trigger. And there's the rest of them. Wow. What a comeback out of nowhere. 4 Arclight Phoenixes attacking in on the attack step, and that'll do it. Game 1, going to Arclight Dredge. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. We appreciate all of you that have been tuning in recently, checking out our opinions over on the banned and restricted announcement video, as well as what's starting to be slightly outdated, our What Should You Play in Modern video. We will have a new one of those coming out here pretty soon. Specifically here and probably right before the Pro Tour. The format is evolving with these bans and unbans, so definitely check out those videos. Some of them still relevant. And also go ahead and check out our last video, which highlighted Living End, which just got Violent Outburst back, and Amulet Titan, which just lost Lotus Field. So definitely worth the watch. Moving into sideboards. Eldrazi Aggro probably just bringing in Soulless Jailers here, if they have them, and maybe a dismember or two specifically to have instant speed interaction to kill a Phoenix or to kill a Tidecaller or two. You'll see the Wayscape Battle Mages probably stay in the main deck here, or bring one extra in if there is one. Being able to hit the Artist Talent really slows down this Arclight Dredge deck from being able to do its thing. Now, if you're the Arclight Dredge deck, you're really only bringing in some consigned memories here to try to slow down these early plays. It's going to be a little bit more difficult on the draw than on the play. Being that Eldrazi Aggro can turn one Chalice of the Void on one, which is pretty rough, or even turn one Soulless Jailer. So you have to be aware of that. But also the consigns do a pretty decent to great job of stopping some of the Thought-Knot Seers, as well as everything else in the Eldrazi Aggro deck besides Dismember. So those will be coming in. Moving on to our sponsors, definitely check out our friends over at Grove Warden Games, a wonderful place to store mount, host of the channel. Their information is in the description below, specifically a link to their storefront, and they are in the process of getting their TCG single selling and buying situation available onto their online platform, so be on the lookout for that. And of course, check out artists of our channel. Chandra makes wonderful art. Instagram is up on the screen, and their email's in the description below. They are open to new projects, whether that's for a professional setting or if you're just looking for a gift for a friend. So definitely check out Chandra. And last but not least, check out our socials. We are at MTGScoundrels over on Blue Sky, Twitter, and Facebook. Most active on Blue Sky and in the comments below. So definitely let us know what deck you're playing now that the changes have happened and what you think about the changes. Pretty incredible where the format's gone. It's really opened up. It's been kind of crazy to see even Boros Energy adapt, and Amulet Titan has even adapted to be playing Zurin Orb of all things lately. So let us know what you think about the format right now in the comments below, and give us a follow over on our social media channels, which you can find links to in the description. So definitely check those out. And with that, we're moving on to game number 2. Looks like the Dredge player doing the final bits of shuffling up here. And both players are going to look at 7. It'll be interesting to see how sideboards start to be built now that Flage is out of the format, and what the different graveyard hate pieces of choice will be in the format moving forward. Will we see more rest in pieces? Will we see more single target graveyard removal? But we're going to get things started off here with the Cavern of Souls on Eldrazi and pass in the turn. There's an Arid Mesa and pass. And here is an Eldrazi Temple, followed up with a Chalice of the Void on 1. This is one of the starts you want to have if you are the Eldrazi Aggro player. Arid Mesa getting cracked. Finding the commercial district as the surveil land. So we'll see if the Dredge player can get, well, keeping it on top. Nope, putting it in the bin. There's a consigned memory going to the graveyard. And now, looks like the Dredge player is going to discard a hand size to get a Dredger into the bin. Looks like that's a Golgari Thug. There is a Secluded Courtyard that'll also be on Eldrazi, but we have Thought-Knot Seer being cast. Wow. Well, lots in hand here. And taking the Arclight talent, which will matter the most ultimately. So instead of drawing, I'm going to dredge 4, and Thug will go to hand. Discarding the hand size, putting a Thug in the bin. There is an unclaimed territory. That'll also be on Eldrazi. Starting off with an Eldrazi line breaker. And then 2 mana for a Soulless Jailer. Linebreaker triggers, attacking in, taking 9, going to 11. Heat pieces on the battlefield. Does Dredge have an answer? Top card is... Oh no, that's not what you want. Scooping them up from there. Top card was a Creeping Chill. And then I'll be game 2, going to Eldrazi Aggro. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTGScoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. We just saw what Eldrazi Aggro can do when their hate pieces line up. They can really be powerful on the board. With line breakers, reality smashers. Thought-Knot Seer can really do a good job of interrupting what the opponent is doing. Haven't seen much of Eldrazi Aggro's top end yet, though. Not that it would have much of a chance to actually get on the battlefield in this matchup. But not even a Kozilek's Command, which might be the most powerful card in Modern now. Though arguably it was that before these bans were even announced. There was just enough, just barely enough interaction to deal with what was going on, with the amount of consigned memories being played, etc. Which still could be the case here. But the format has really taken a big step in a new direction, though we still see Affinity being one of the best decks in the format. Boros Energy isn't going anywhere anytime soon, but now sweepers matter, which for a long time, thanks to Flage, really had a hard time being as effective because, for one, sweepers fed Flage. And then if you got rid of Flage with a sweeper, they could just cast it the next turn, more times than not, and haste it out with Arena of Glory. Both players starting to look at 7s. Eldrazi Aggro going to take a mulligan here. Though what may actually be, what I would find to be the best decks in the format right now are probably Is It Prowess in some form, Eldrazi Tron, Affinity, and Boros Energy. Living End being right there, but you're going to see a lot more play of Chalice of the Void and Consign to Memory, as well as Vexing Bauble. Not that Vexing Bauble wasn't everywhere already, but you'll see more of it main deck than you used to. Looking at the second 7 here for the Eldrazi Aggro player. I see a Glaring Fleshraker in hand. So I'm going to go to 6. Putting 1 to the bin, or 1 to the bottom, excuse me. And looks like we have a pregame action. It That Herald's getting exiled for a Gemstone Caverns. That's one way to try to get the play back. Arid Mason, pass. Alright, there's an Ugin's Labyrinth. Into a turn 1 Glaring Fleshraker. Arid Mesa going to get cracked. Probably finding a Surveil land here. Nope, there's a Steam Vents. Will we see a Consign to Memory on this Fleshraker? Though Otherworldly Gaze is an option too. Yep, that's what we're going to see. Otherworldly Gaze. Surveilling 3. Getting a Dredger into the bin, that's pretty huge. Their best Dredger at that in Stinkweed Imp. Drawing for turn. Here's a Stomping Ground taking 2. Bring us to 20 to 15. Here's a Faithless Looting. Dredging instead of drawing. There's a Dart and a Phoenix in the bin. I believe there is another Dredger. Nope, deciding to draw a card. And then has to discard 2. So two Stinkweed Imps go into the bin. And here's another Faithless Looting. Gonna end up dredging 10 here. There's another Phoenix. There's another Phoenix. Do they just go for broke? I mean, the question at this point is probably why not? Okay, so on the second one, deciding actually to dredge the life from the loam. Here's a Creeping Chill. So I'll bring it to 17 to 18. 2 spells have been cast. There's a Lava Dart in the bin. With 3 Arclight Phoenixes, you might as well just go for it. Sacking the green source. That's a mountain. Lava Dart to the face, that's 16 to 18. And moving to combat, the Phoenixes are going to come back. They all have haste. And attacking in for 9. It's just like that. Not going to be enough, more than likely, unless there's a removal spell here. Here's Cavernous Souls on Eldrazi. Into a Thought-Knot Seer to see what's there. That'll deal 2 damage. But will it matter? A Lava Dart in hand, 3 Phoenixes, and that's going to do it. Game, set, match, going to Arclight Dredge. What a game. Thank you all so much for watching us here at MTG Scoundrels. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. And we will see you all next week.